Hello, hello! Welcome to the Cool Guy stream. How's everyone doing? No one responded. Alright, let me just fix up the volumes. If there's just yell at me if you want things louder or quieter. So yeah, this stream is different because I've got the counter going in the corner there, and I don't know. I'm usually just chatting, and this feels heavier. But we're gonna do a little bit of drawing today. I just gotta quickly post on Instagram because I'm clever like that. One moment, but yeah, the Kickstarter's done incredible, and thank you to everyone. Like that's the main thing. Thank you, everyone. Make myself louder. I can do that. Turn. All right. Is that a bit better audio? Nice. So yeah, did I think we would get this close to 800k? I honestly wasn't sure. There was such a big window of where things could go. So yeah, I'm surprised. I'm very shocked. So I guess the answer is no. I did not actually expect it to go this high. So yeah, that makes it really cool. All right. Just found out about this yesterday and bought it. Ah, thank you so much. Music up 5 decibels? I can do that. Ah, thank you for sending me $2. I appreciate that, but please don't stress about sending me any money today. I'm just gonna be answering questions, and I'm gonna draw this just a shot of all the classes hanging out, watching a movie at the DVD guy's place. I've kind of labeled what the characters are. This is how I start a lot of drawings. It is so rough, but for whatever reason, whenever I stream, it's something about doing the compositions I find the most difficult to multitask. Everything else is pretty easy, but yeah, making a scene look good and talking, that's difficult. You guys are sending so many nice messages. I appreciate that so much. I hope you get rich, Luke. Zark the Muffin out here speaking. I think this is what we all want. We all want me to get rich. And if I got rich, I would just make art all day and put it on the internet for free. Thank you so much. Lord Adrian, $50. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Luke, the people want to know, what has it been like to have a passion project get so big? I don't know. I'm still processing it. It's numbers on the computer still in a way. But It is literally the dream. This is heaven on earth. Like being able to just make the stuff I want to make. That's it. That's all I need in life, and I'm yeah, I'm appreciative. I'm overwhelmed. Uh, so it feels good. That's the answer. Good. Luke, I wanted to ask if you were a player, which class would you go with first? Um, Maybe the guy I'm drawing right now, the animal dude, because you start with the companion. There's ways to find companions in the game, so whatever class you play, you might end up with a little pet friend depending on what you do. But the animal dude's the only one who starts with a pet, and you get to pick the pet. Like, you don't know what you're gonna run into when you're out there. So, uh, animal dude, I think, is really nice to start with. Congratulations on Facebook marketing. Let's all give a big cheers for Facebook marketing. Uh, but yeah, there were a few ads being run, and that got a lot of people in. So it's good to see people outside of my animations finding it. All right, so someone says, I have a question, by the way. I asked this in the Kickstarter comments, but will there ever be any kind of playtest? Yes, I've got a kind of a rough quick start guide going. I still playtesting a little bit, but yes, there will be a playtest and sort of a way to show a bit more of the mechanics and the rules. And they are pretty light, too. Like, I keep emphasizing that. Because, like, we're not... I feel like there's been a lot of TTRPGs that try and reinvent the stuff that's going on, and this is more about a focus on the role play and like just coming out with creative solutions to problems in a fun way that you can only do with TTRPGs. So yes, I'm excited to show that more nitty gritty stuff to it. Your stuff has been the best vibe. Probably my favorite animator. Got anything planned after Damnation? Nothing at motion because like I still need to finish Damnation with like this like the manufacturing stuff and like I still want to do some more play testing and everything. So that's the priority. But after Damnation, I would like to do some more animation stuff with more resources. So that's I don't have anything in motion for that at the moment. But that's where I feel I'm headed, but who knows? Do all the starting classes have items? Yes, except for the Feral. Feral comes in with a rash and nothing else. Um, but they're kind of potent with their skills in a different way, which is fun. Get a Pinky Card crossover and have one of the uh, pets be something of Salenthal. I could definitely draw something, but I don't think I can. I don't think there's like room to include it in the game. But maybe I'll do a goofy stream in the future where I just draw up a bunch of stuff that you can print out and use as companions. But yeah. When will Journey to Sploware Island get kickstarted? Maybe one day. As I keep saying, I keep like developing Sploware Island. Like I keep adding to my big design documents for it. So I know if I kickstarted it, it'd probably get a lot of money, but I definitely don't have a team or the skill set to actually make the game. But it is something I think about a lot. Since Bob has his dog, does that count as a pet? Yes. All right, the chat's going too fast, so give me a hot minute here. Was there any reason you decided to choose When Society Collapsed as your main focus for the TTRPG? Honestly, it was the email survey that I put out, I think almost a year ago. Because as I am opt to do, I just wanted to make a whole new thing from scratch, from the ground up. But there was just a lot of people passionate about When Society Collapsed. Plus, so many people have like asked if they can adapt it into their own home games, like the characters and stuff. Which is like, first of all, you don't need to ask if you're doing stuff at home. Steal whatever you want. But it's because the like guys like you and stuff just asked for it and wanted it, and it definitely had the lore and the bones for it, and it was a good fit. Because like we're doing the Pinky Guard one shot, which is pretty cool too. But I do think that's more of a board game or a video game than a TTRPG. Not diminishing the one shot that I've got lined up for it. But for a long campaign, I feel it's a little bit more, that wants it to be a little bit more mechanical than role playing. But if there was enough of a push, I could always make it into something. Thank you, everyone. I've gotten a lot of messages of people just saying they would support, but they don't have the money. Like, do not stress. This like, I know what the world's like at the moment. If money's tight, a game does not need to be a priority at all. Like, don't ever apologize for not purchasing a game from me. But I do appreciate all the nice messages and the sentiment. Luke, do you think you will live stream you playing the TTRPG? Yeah, absolutely. Once I'm feeling really happy with all the pieces coming together, yeah, I'll do that. Especially once I'm more confident GMing it, because like the rules are getting tweaked a little bit here and there, so I want to make sure I've got it locked down real good, and yeah, I'll definitely do like a live stream. Can you please talk about the librarian class? That is the one class I don't want to talk about because I've had to. They were too OP in my first design. Originally, I had them. They were able to freely re-roll. Was it nature, old world, and build and fix rolls? They got a free reroll on all of them. Like being like, hang on a minute, let me think about that for a second. But it was too strong, so. It's getting tweaked, so, but that's kind of the gist of what the librarian class is about. It's having very decent knowledge of a lot of things and being able to be a bit more methodology. You know the word I'm saying for their roles. They've got a bigger knowledge base to draw from. So I'll probably preview all the classes. Once they're all locked in. Thank you, Levers. That's really appreciated. That's so nice. Lots of people stopping by to say hello. Ooh. One moment, I'm doing boomer stuff. I've lost my spot. My work inspired a book you wrote. Yeah, if it ever gets published, send me a copy. Yeah, I'll read that. That's awesome. Well done. Even like, I've tried to get stuff published before, and like that's a big battle. So like, writing the book, like, be proud. Well done. That's so good. Will the game stuff come in an icebox? Like there's extra, and if you didn't get, should I make a box to carry the items around? That's a tricky one. I don't actually know the answer to that one. I can't remember which, because like we are designing different boxes, but as long as I can get some images on it, it'll be good. I can design good stuff, so that should be great. Did I have plans for stretch goals beforehand, or did they more come along during the campaign? They were fairly planned out. Like I did a stream the other like a week or two ago, or a week ago, and we were like coming up with a couple of the stretch goals as a community when it comes to like items and stickers. So for the most part, yes, but some of it is very community based, which is cool. The simplified rules and the physical tracker definitely makes this feel easier for new people. Yeah, absolutely. There's a few... The mechanics that you learn in the game, at least if you're playing the campaign, they'll sort of like get drip-fed pretty quickly at the start. So yeah, it's made with new people in mind, so they can like kind of just jump straight into it and you'll learn the pieces as you play, which is ideal. I think that's really good. Like, like 5th edition and all that, that can be really daunting if you haven't really played that stuff before. And it can make it hard to roleplay when you're simultaneously trying to remember all the logistics you got to do. So, yeah, new player friendly. Will you change things based on how people react to digital release before the physical? It'll be set in stone when it comes out, but like if there's any preview stuff that comes out, maybe it'll change. But like once the rules are locked in, they're kind of locked in, but they're also designed really openly for homebrew. So if I make any design choices you hate, it should be fairly easy to axe it. Luke, what's your stance on the droid attack on the Wookiees? I mean, I love Wookiees. Yeah. Droids shouldn't be attacking Wookiees. They are not ensouled. Hey, Luke, can I make my own animated adventures based on the game? Yeah, of course. Go for it. I have heard of the Lancer TTRPG system, but I haven't really read too much about it, and I don't know much about the lore. But so many people have recommended it, so that does... I will check it out. How do you suggest to get my friends hype on this RPG? Go to my YouTube and show them the When Society Collapsed playlist, and if they vibe with that, then maybe they'll vibe with the game. If they don't vibe with it, just say the game is nothing like these, so it's going to be all right. And then just, force them to. Pinky Guard one shot, could you explain? Yeah, so that is like a fun, small campaign. It uses the same sort of stamina system with different attributes. And it's called Pinky Guard the Late Shift. Canonically set before the Pinky Guard, before Salenthal does a runner. And you're just working the late shift, and you can pick between the different classes, and each night you'll have to just make sure everything stays in its place, and if you can survive the week, you win the game. So it's a very like sit down and do in one sort of scenario. It might be GM-less. I'm still trying to figure that one out, but that was kind of added as a big thank you to everyone, because I know a lot of people wanted Pinky Guard stuff. So yeah, that'll be just sort of a fun one. Would you give us your reading list of game dev books? I'll do a post about it, but the one guy... Hang on, where is it? Sorry, I just had to go. I wanted to get the title right. Values at Play in Digital Games. Now, this was my favorite book on like sort of game design, and it does talk sort of a bit about like what are like universal things you value and like how that translates to games. You know, I found it really interesting because it's like a character that has health and their health gets low. You don't really need to explain that that's bad. Everyone's like, oh, you know, you don't want to be unhealthy. You don't want to be damaged. So that's like a universal thing at play. But then like, what are other things people value? Like, you know, planting and growing crops. That's not a universally instant like, oh yeah, that's something that's good and what that I want to do. I'm abbreviating this book really badly, but that's really good. And if you want to get into game design, that's probably my number one. I read the book The Art of Game Design, which is a lot more like with symbols and stuff, and there were some other ones I'll get into, but Values at Play in Digital Games. That's my main recommend if you want to start like designing stuff. Yeah. Will there be new items, companions in the one shot? There'll be items, but not companions. You can't really bring your pets to work, unfortunately. I completely forgot to support. Glad I got in time. Welcome to the party. Wait, what is Journey to Sploware Island? It's just Sploware Island. I was just riffing off the title they said. Hey man, I gotta ask, if you defeat a boss in the game, are you going to make a choice of befriend them or no? There's a couple of bosses, and like you don't have to beat them up to befriend them, but like I don't know, people have different ideologies. People have secret ideologies. You know, it's you can try to Steven Universe your way through most of the game, but you can definitely get through the game without ever doing a punch. But yeah, there's definitely some confused guys that you could you don't need a dome in the head. You slam Pinky Guard for every option on that survey. Yeah, Pinky Guard was very very popular. Lord Adrian has deep pockets. They really do. And it is appreciated, but they don't have to do that. Rarely back things on Kickstarter, but back me. Thank you so much. That's so nice. Just make supplement scenes for the system after you're finished. All you're doing now and have rested. Yeah, there is so many. There's so much room for like add-ons and stuff. Yeah, well, the one zine that's included with the um, Kickstarter talks a bit about like day one of when society collapsed, which is not something I've really dived into too much with the actual shorts. But and there's stuff in the game too that talks about day one and how they got there. So there's some fun lore stuff. There's no big reveal that's gonna make shock you or anything like that. But there's more depth to the world as you go through. As far as digital stuff, will you eventually make it free to play or have an alternative way for people who missed the Kickstarter to play? Yeah, I'm looking into it. I don't know exact details. I definitely, if someone paid for the digital version, I don't want to just be like, it's free now on the day. So, that'll be something. I definitely want to make it accessible. So, nothing set in stone just yet. But yeah. Everyone's sending such nice messages. Thank you so much. If I ever listen to ICHH, an anarchist independent journalist talking about staying positive during systemic degeneration and performing mutual aid. No, I will look them up. That does sound cool though. Luke, I need help on my math homework. What's the quadratic formula? It's in my Q&A. Go, someone asked me that there. You can find the answer. Are those minis in the corner real? Yeah, let's the duck. I've got like a ring light doing crazy colors on them, but it's not showing up that much. But yeah, they're real little guys. Those are the samples. I think they came out so good. I love the little wood textury fiber guys. They're very toothy. So that's really cool. Oh, we hit 800K. Incredible. Thank you, everyone. And I'm very behind on the chat, but I want to answer people's questions, so give me a hot minute here. Thank you, Iron Maple. My pasta? Yeah, I'm pasta. Do I have any plans for more merch? I remember seeing a concept for a really cool t-shirt with a window that seems to have disappeared. Okay, that was my prototype, and it stank. It wasn't very good. Like, the way it was positioned, just, it always folded. The form didn't read. It was not great. I might do more merch in the future. I definitely have ideas, but like I really don't want to do anything until the Kickstarter is fulfilled. I feel very greasy about trying to get payment from people. How much replayability do you foresee with this? The van felt finite to one adventure and didn't feel intended to be taken apart. It can be pulled apart and redone. I think this is the biggest clash I've had with a lot of people. Is like I like making things a bit more finite. But yeah, if you want to pull it apart and do a second adventure, you can. As for replayability for the game, like there's some there, but like with any campaign, like you'll know the story. So if you're being a player a second time round, you'll know what's up. But there's a lot of random stuff. There's a lot of loot tables. Things could play out differently, but the map is kind of set the way it is, so you'll know what's going on. But I feel like that applies to any campaign, really, unless it's like actually embracing some roguelike elements. Do you think you would have released the Pinky Guard one shot if we hadn't hit 700K? Well, I always feel weird saying things that are like behind the scenes, but I originally envisioned the Pinky Guard being the 1 million mark, and that was, I guess, being optimistic, and we ended up moving it forward because it doesn't cost any more extra money, and I wanted people to have it. So yeah, which does make it a little bit cheesy because it's like it's gonna appear kind of regardless, but like, yeah, I just want people to have it. I've always loved the When Society Collapsed shorts because you make an end-of-the-world scenario, not 100% doom and bleak, for a change, and it's inspiring. Just as simple as, we'll be okay. Yeah. It's less optimistic to me than it is a lot of the audience, which is kind of funny in a weird way, because I think a lot of it is just my own personal ideology, where it's, I don't know. Whatever happens in life, there's like we've all had bad stuff happen, but whatever happens, I'm okay. I can pull myself out of it. So like, I don't know. I wouldn't say deter anyone from trying to make the world better, but even if you can't do that, you can sort of stand on your own feet and be okay yourself. So that's pretty good. Can you tell us about the engineer? Yeah, so the engineer is the probably the peak build and fix class. They're the most scrappiest. They get they've got a little bit of a database when it comes to building and repairing. So if you're like trying to fix something, if you're trying to recycle something, you're trying to pull something apart, engineer is gonna be the most potent one for it. There's two abilities that I've got for them at the moment, and I'm not sure which one is gonna be the final one for it. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, they're your absolute scrappers. After release, it would be awesome if you animated a couple of player stories. That is a fantastic idea, actually. After launch, I might I don't know. I'll have to think about how to set it up properly, but it might be something where it's like 60 seconds or maybe like a 300 word or 500 word something, and just submit it, and then I'll pick out my faves and do it. But yeah, bucket of puppies, great idea. And Super Slicer has a balloon. Great, incredible things happening in here tonight. What is all the classes going to be? All right, I kind of got them here. We got the feral, tough. Not the best at a lot of skill stuff, but their ability is that they can ignore a single negative condition. So if they're rashed up, if they got stomach poisoning, they can eat it. They're pretty good for it. We got the animal dude. You start with companion. Anything animal related, you're gonna do really well. Conspiracy theorist, also old head. I wasn't sure which way to go. They're probably the best at like the old world stuff, and they've got a little je ne sais quoi about them. Scavenger, best at finding stuff, good at observation, good at build and fix, good at getting into stuff. Farmer is tough and good at plants. So they can survive a bit more than a lot of people. Real salt of the earth. Cook, gonna get some with extra cooking abilities. That's nice. Librarian, they have the little database of like just knowledge, which is good. Engineer, which we talked about, all scrappy. Botanist, they're like plant and observation, so they're good at spotting things, detecting things, and anything plant related. They're probably going to be the best. Farmer's good at plants too, but botanist is more focused. Archivist, they can carry an extra item compared to other people. They're about collecting things, whether it's like Funko Pops or like encyclopedias. I think I said in the other stream too, like when you make the character, one of the questions asked is like, what are you archiving? Like, what's your special interest? Very based on the DVD guy from the first short. Survivalist, that's a physical sort of class. Also very good at just like surviving. Kind of a prepper type attitude, but also like Boy Scout. Got the Raider. They are all physical. They're like the most physical potent class, and they can take a beating, a bit like the Farmer. And they're them, which is just they're the guy. They're the most je ne sais quoi character in there. They're not the most skilled, but for they have ways to just somehow end up on top. So that's the class rundown. Ooh. Any plans for availability after release in the future for people who can't cover the cost now or find it in the future? Yes, there'll be definitely something related to a way to get stuff, but I can't guarantee what from the Kickstarter will transfer over. I imagine the book will be available, but if there's anything you want from the Kickstarter, I can't promise it'll still be there after. But yeah, there'll be a way to access it, and yeah. A lot of people don't have money right now, and that's very understandable. I didn't add okay. Levi said in the Explorer short, when you mentioned that they had this ultralight, do you think the Explorer could separate from the party and draw out a map, or be like a scout in the sense? I gotta add the Explorer in here real quick, because how rude of me. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 12, 13 classes. They can sit on a thing up here somewhere. We'll figure it out. Okay, so Explorer. Yeah, they're very good at scouting out. That's going to be kind of part of their ability set. The party can separate for sure. There's no plans to have an ultralight, but Cloud Anther is zipping around in the ultralight, so you'll run into them. So it is an RPG, so you could ask to borrow it, but the ultralight can't take a whole party on for sure. But yeah, absolutely. Like you can explore this with the Explorer. Is there a possibility of the game being made for online only playing using sites like Roll20 or Foundry? I'm going to be honest, I actually don't know what is involved with those. Like, I know Tabletop Simulator, where you could just, like, pull a bunch of PNGs in and do stuff, but I don't know. I will look into it, though. Are you going to have ambience music or a playlist like how Stinky Dragon does? Yes, most likely. I don't know how deep it'll go. There will be also the animation playlist that comes with the game, so there'll be like those introductive narrative parts. But as for actual music, yeah, I've sort of got stuff in the works, but it'll probably be a very simple, light sort of thing. Like it's like it's not even worth advertising. So yeah, there'll be some nice adjacent stuff to it for sure. If there's any heads up for a GM playing this, what would you give them? Because the stamina and that sort of stuff is very almost board game like, with all the pips putting in and the having food to restore your stamina. That becomes very board game like. So as a GM, once the players know how to handle that, they can kind of like self-maintain their own stamina. So let them handle that once they feel comfortable, and you can just really focus on letting them do creative problem solving. A little convoluted way I said that, but yeah. I'm just scrolling down now and I'm seeing all these donations. What are you doing, guys? Thank you so much. How much do you think you'll get in profit for yourself from the Kickstarter, if you don't mind sharing? I'll be getting under 100K. But it'll be up there. I don't mind saying that out loud. Like that's it's fairly transparent, which is a very good wage for sure. Like I've been living off like 30K a year for the last few years, so that's a thing that I'll just like be folding straight back into like the YouTube stuff and keeping that floating. So yeah, it's the best payday I've ever had. I'll be honest. Think we'll get the big milli? Probably not. Probably not. But you know, it's the 800K is an insane amount. Did I expect the Kickstarter to get this big? I thought it'd do well. But yeah, I guess I didn't believe. Statistically, based on the emails, like it it felt like it would go well, but I didn't believe it, and I still don't. So I don't know. I gotta accept it at some point. Really love the oddly hopeful, bittersweet tone of the original shorts. Did you feel like it took conscious effort to get that tone through the mechanics of the game? Yeah, I mean, I chose to make conscious effort about it. Like that's I didn't think of like what's a TTRPG with a When Society Collapsed skin. I definitely put a lot of thought of how to get across the energy and vibe of it, and you know, like for me, When Society Collapsed is very much about autonomy, and that's what I really wanted to get across in the game. Like I really wanted to be like, you know, it's post-apocalyptic, but it's like it's just our world in a undisclosed amount of years after just everything kind of stopped. So all the touchstones are there. If you see an abandoned gas station, you know what a gas station is. You're not like confused by it. So so I lost my train of thought. So because I wanted you to have like any autonomy you want, it's like this is a world you know. It's just different and quieter, and the TTRPG itself will reflect a lot of that as you play. Thank you for thank you, generic white dude, for the cash. The C-Zone ticket? Not for sale. Hey, after this, are you going to make stories from the characters of When Society Collapsed? You know, short side stories? Probably just continued through the shorts animation. But yeah, like they've all got little adventures in mind. The DVD guy, I've always pictured him doing a big road trip across the country to get in search of that very special DVD that he's always wanted. So yeah, you'll see more. But like, could do them longer too. I could actually like practice my writing a little bit more, which I do kind of. I am a visual person more than a written one, but yeah, I mean, I could write a couple of short stories. Because the animations are nice, they're tasty, but they're very they're so micro compared to what's going on. I think it'd be fun to have the DM also make new campaigns with the map stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Like that's a nice thing. You're gonna have a nice fat loot table. So when you want to make your own campaigns, you can just be like, you can just have people scavenging and just finding all like this very post-apocalyptic junk, as you've seen with some of the stretch goals. Yeah, no, homebrew always in mind for this stuff. What's the largest stretch goal you planned for? Pinky Guard at 1 million. That was the big one. A few tables to randomly generate a map would be a great tool to separate from the campaign. Well, there is an easy way to do it, and I will mention it in the homebrew section. But when you do the map, you go to A5, and it just points to A5 in the book, and that's where you find what's going on in that part of the world. So slightly convoluted, but you could randomize it up, and then when the player goes to A5, you just look at your conversion map, and it's okay, A5 is actually going to be B4, and then the GM just goes to that area. So slightly convoluted, but not that difficult, to be honest. I'm just going to grab a drink of water. I'll be 1 second. Sorry. Thank you guys. Have you ever read Wasteland: Stories of the Apocalypse? I have not. I will add it to the list. There's a lot of things I need to read that people are saying, but that does sound cool. Canned Fruit Loops, you're dropping formulas. People better be thankful for that. How would the digital formats work compared to the physical? So I have put a lot of work in to make sure everything's like printer friendly. But you can also write it out by hand. You don't need to actually hit up a printer. But yeah, it works the same. So the stamina sheets, there'll be a printout, and you'll just need to find something to use as tokens to do all the stamina pips. If you really wanted to, like, I've done the cards for all the items, which I feel is like feels good and it's tangible. But like, you could just, whenever you get an item, you find it on the loot table, you look at it, you could write it down on a scrap bit of paper, or just write it down on like a sheet, like an item list, and now it's in play. So you'll be able to access the maps. There'll be little just like circles with characters' faces on them, so you can use them as markers for minis if you don't have anything at home. So it all works the same. You don't get the cool pop-out van and get to build that up, but you do get the items for the van. So yeah, that's kind of the main difference. How easy to make your own campaigns for the setting? Is the entire TTRPG set in terms of plot? It is set in for the campaign that it comes with. So there is like the whole story of Damnation and what's going on and how you can interact with it. But you can ignore that story, and you'll have to like kind of write what else is going on in a couple of main locations. But other than that, like, the whole area is explorable. A lot of weirdos you run into, you can just put them into your campaign. So yeah, I like to think it's really easy. And you can kind of pick and choose what mechanics you play with. Like, you don't have to do the map if you want to do something a bit more linear. You can you don't have to like scrounge for food if that's not something you want your players doing. Yeah, it'll be open. Will we get platypus? You can't domesticate a platypus. I mean, but we might get one in there. I love stories that have scary circumstances, but aren't like, OMG, you're going to die 24/7, similar to Project Hail Mary. I liked Project Hail Mary. That was a good movie. But yeah, no, I agree too. It's, I don't know. This is a dumb train of thought. Like, I don't exactly respect this train of thought I have, but when I was younger and I'd watch the Scream movies and like Ghostface comes out with a knife, as a kid, I was always like, that's a guy with a knife. I can be a guy with a knife. What does knife guy have over me? Maybe that's a bit off topic, but yeah, it's just when scary circumstances happens, it's like it's fun to explore your bravery and your confidence in that more than it is to be like overwhelmingly scared. And obviously that's not true for everything. It is fun to be scared sometimes. I'm just yapping a bit on that. Made a pledge for the digital tier. Wish I was able to pledge more. Look, digital tier, you're going to be able to play the game. You're going to have a great time. Don't stress. Don't worry about it. Lot of good stuff to be spending your money on. Is there going to be a survey sent out when the Kickstarter timer is up? No, it'll be a little while. Like we still got to like lock things down. So once the game's ready to ship, you'll get a survey sent out, and I'll probably do one also once a little while after it's all sort of like shipped out, because I am so curious to see how people react. So archivists are like the Brotherhood of Steel, but less obtuse. Yeah, they're protecting Funko Pops, not technology. How many playboards are in the core box? 4. Hey Luke, I'm really invested in the project and love the concept of it. I can't offer. I'm from Brazil and I'm not financially well off. Could I translate the project into my language for you? I will have a more official answer for that soon. But ideally, I would love to get translated copies out there that are not like maybe localized prices. Sorry, one second. Oh, sorry, I had to drink some water. I'm a I'm an animator. I don't talk for a whole hour at a session. This is crazy. But yeah, hopefully we can do something with local prices. But wait till I say something official and yeah. Have you considered someone like Hit Point Press Publishers to make this available forever? No, I'm working with like the Dungeon and Box Crew, Startide. I already got dudes that are good. How will the digital version work? Will there be software? Does everyone need to have their phone out? Just curious how it works. Oh, so the digital version is more like a PDF file of the book and that. So it's not like an interactive uh, game. It's just you're not paying for shipping. You're not paying for physical object. You're just getting the digital files of the game. Do you have any words of hope for my American fans? Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, that's a live cam. Yeah, I put a Brachiosaurus in there. Will the platypus be able to be a companion? Well, you guys have asked twice now, so maybe I could do a digital one. Does the digital version of the game come with a tabletop sim version? Um, I I don't know. Like, isn't tabletop you just upload PNGs? I don't think it'll have one to plug straight in. Um, but if you want to put the effort of plugging it in, yeah, it'll work. Is it gonna be a sticker or is it just some bonus illustration? It's just a bonus illustration. I just wanted to. It just preoccupies me while I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, I'll post this. This is just a little thank you sort of thing. Thank you guys. Such nice words. I really appreciate that. You bought the deluxe and thought it was an absolute steal, so you donated a little more? That is so kind. Oh yeah, I do own the Canada government 99k. Am I familiar with the term solar punk? If so, did it have any influence when you were making the When Society collapse shorts? I am familiar with it, and like it's not a solar punk story. Solar punk is a bit more like progressive future, needs are met, high technology, like making things better. You know, like it does have that same vibe to it, and it could be like the start of a solar punk future. But technically, no, it's not. People use the term hopecore, and that's apt. I don't like using it, but that is correct, I guess. What are the stamina trackers made of? Just cardboard. they're that way I can like print all my like artwork on it very crisp and clean. So just cardboard little standees, like thick good cardboard too, not like a think closer more like a game board than like playing cards, if that makes sense. How well do you think this would work in conversion? My buddy wants to run a Fallout S game, and I think it might be a good use for that setting. Yeah, I think it'd be really good. The one thing you might want to like homebrew out a little bit more is a bit more of the weapons and stuff. Like if you want to get some of them laser guns and the power fist. But yeah, as for the exploration and energy and stuff, yeah, it's post-apocalyptic adventure. Thanks again for all these messages, guys. This is You're all too kind. Where is this taking place in the world? It doesn't really take place anywhere specific. Mostly because I like did a bunch of weird biomes, and the only person you've heard talk from that world has an Australian accent. But there's like pine forests and tropical fruit trees, and there was even snowy caps at the top. So if it had to be anywhere, it'd have to be California, I think. But the people in the world argue about where they actually are. People's minds tend to drift, so not nowhere specific. Trip to the last Blockbuster. Okay, here's the thing. Blockbuster sucks. They ruined all the like cool video stores. When I was a kid and Jurassic Park came out on VHS, they brought in this like smashed up car and spray painted the Jurassic Park colors on it, and it ruled. So if I did a cross country trip, it would not be to a Blockbuster. It would be to a cool video store. Ooh. Have I thought about making Explore Island a real thing? Constantly. Maybe one day. Thank you, Luke, for going out of your way to make media that inspires and consoles. A little bit of tenderness and what is, I would say, a pretty overly harsh world. Uh, it's very appreciated. Thank you. And it's odd to say this, but I just make it for myself. There's no intention behind any of the media other than like I like it and I want to see it. Um, so I'm always kind of floored when people say that it inspires them. Uh, but yeah, thank you so much. What drawing site is this? It's just Clip Studio Paint. Uh, it is a drawing program I like a lot. They've done a couple little crappy business stuff, but they are angels compared to Adobe. I kind of love the map system. It makes me think it would be easier to use something similar for when I DM one day. Yeah, like it's not complicated by design. You're just unveiling areas as you walk into them. Um, and you get to just sort of look back and see where you've gone, and I think that's cool. Have all the main When Society Collapsed characters minus Bob all met? Um, yes. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Including Bob. They know Bob. Bob's uh Bob's up to something in the game. Would you ever be open to someone making a computer app to display the stamina sheets? Yeah, absolutely. Of course. Honestly, scrap paper gaming might be even more immersive than the physical version. Honestly, yeah. Like, TTRPGs have blown up so much over the last like decade, 2 decades, and like they're great, but like, writing stuff on pen and paper, it's good. It's, I don't know, tactile. It feels good, and especially for the post-apocalyptic setting, yeah. Can we get the van sprite for the digital version? I want to make my own van. A lot of people have been asking for it, so I don't know what scale it is, but there'll be something in there, even if it is like a coloring page book looking van that you draw on. I'm not sure, but people want to seem to build out their vans with the digital version, so it'll be something. It'll definitely be something. That's a nice thing with these like printable and digital stuff. It's just like it's not too hard for me to keep tacking things onto it compared to the book where I can't just keep adding pages. Question about the character commission bundle. Is it possible to turn that into a couple's commission if I wanted to make a character with me and my partner, even for an extra fee? I think so. That I haven't exactly planned all that out, but there'll be like basically a form you fill out and you say all the things you wanted. Um, and if you wanted to squeeze two people into the one thing, I think we could do something. The digital version is designed for printouts. It's not like software. It's not uh yeah, it's not like a computer game. So it's designed to be printed out and played with friends, but there is so much software that emulates having printouts with friends, like Tabletop Simulator, which is like $10 on Steam, which is pretty solid. But it's also like the real world, where it's like um, you could flip the table at any point if you felt like it. Do you have a brush that's automatically putting gaps in the lines you're drawing? No, that is me just hopping along the page. This is me sketching and finding the form as I do it. It is. If you want to become a very disciplined, refined artist, it's probably not a good skill to have. But if you want to do sketchy, lots of work like me, it is a good skill to have. Um, Even though I am taking a long time for this. And if you love using the magic wand, it is awful for it because you're never closing shapes. Originally pledged one of the early bird kits by recently boosted to deluxe. Thank you so much. Really happy to see your project soar. Also, as a side note, Cornerstone Park one shot when? I jest, unless that would be cool. I think making the all the all the mount uh the codex for all the creatures, that would be so fun to do, and that would be the bulk of the work. So nothing planned, but man, there are some bones there for Cornerstone Park. 100%. It'd also be such a cool video game. But video games are hard. If we model a 3D full set of 3D minis, would you like some? I will take free 3D minis any day of the week. Can we get the last counterspell in existence as a promo item card and maybe lane it as a mini game? I'd have to do all these like parodies of, because I can't put Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I can't sell that. So it'd have to be all like these third party sort of stuff. So let me think about it. If I can think of if I got a way to do it that I like, then maybe. Do you think shipping will possibly be pretty expensive in the USA because of tariffs? The guys I'm working with, StarTide, they have done so much work to figure out the shipping. So it shouldn't be too bad. Like it's going to be as good as we can get it. But yeah, like, yeah, in the US in particular, I think it's going to be pretty good. Some of the other countries is going to have a rougher, unfortunately, but US. Did I get a look at Degenesis? I only briefly looked at it. It looked cool, but I did not dive deep enough into it. This has not been the month for me to do deep dives, but it's still on the list, and I will check it out. This is a long way off, but can I make a demo for an inter-season game for you to try? Yeah. When it comes to my stuff, like I get a lot of people asking if they can make video games of my stuff, and as long as you're not like selling my stuff or making money off it, I am so happy for you guys to do whatever you want. And if you want to make something similar to what I make to make money, like, go for it as well. Like, I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, if you want to make anything with my IPs, go for it. As long as you're not making any, as long as you're not selling it as my work. Yeah. Did I watch the Gladlands Dimension 20? It's perfectly on theme. I think many people are trying to think of post the coming society collapse. Solarpunk finds very excited to play. No, because it was about going around in a van helping people in the post-apocalypse, and I'm like, first of all, rude, because I'm already so far in my development on mine. But like, yeah, I just don't want to rip off any ideas. I'll check it out when I'm done with my game, but I don't want to accidentally steal stuff, so I haven't checked it out. But I did see the art for it. Found you from the Duck Girl animation when that dropped and thought it would be cool as a game. Just back for the Core Box and Van add-on. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, it definitely, it always had the game bones there. So yeah, it's I'm glad you saw the vision before the vision was there. Wait, has this been a pic of Movie Guy's movie night the whole time? Yeah, that's what the big rectangle is at the back. They're all going to be sitting down watching a movie. I am not on track to get this done in time, but it might be a little... We'll keep the color palette very simple, I think. But that's okay. Honestly, I think we can all just homebrew any companions and animals we want. 100%. Again, like, homebrew in mind for everything. So, yeah, you can do whatever animal you want. You want to do an escaped silverback, that's your best friend. You do that. And I support that. If you don't like Hope Core, what term would you use? I don't know. Do I have to come up with one? Resilient core. Oh, no, that sounds awful. Just hanging out cool. I like hanging out cool. Lord Adrian, stop sending money. Am I going to be a character in the game? Maybe. Maybe. Gotta find me, though. Would there be a way for me to get you the story I'm working on when I'm happy with it? Yeah, just email me. I answer a decent amount of emails. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. Whoops. But yeah, just shoot me an email. Any interest in video game design along your roadmap art career? Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's fun doing TTRPGs because it's like, oh, these are the pros and cons compared to a video game. So, yeah, I want to animate and direct. Excuse me. My dream is to direct, storyboard, and write an animated movie. But I also want to do video games, so I need to become immortal, and I'll be able to do it all. But yeah. Does YouTube take its cut of the donations you get in chat? Yeah, they take a slice. I can't remember the exact amount. I know Twitch is really awful. But it's not too bad. Maybe a third? I'm not sure. If I use the PDFs, can I still play it with my friends online? Yeah, absolutely. I'm about to go rewatch all of When Society Collapsed. I hope you have a whole 8 minutes spare. Can I make a demo for an Interseason game for you today? Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry you had to spend $10 to send that. I'm just slowly making my way down through the chat. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Go for it. Make it big. And then when it's successful, we can change the name and then you can sell it. Can you add an energy bar for quick energy in combat? No, because you just still use the main stamina, which is hard because if you're not a physical character, you're gonna burn through a lot swinging around a hammer, at your enemies. We love our librarians, but they're not gonna have the staying power that the raider has in battle. So, and there's a way to be efficient and stay longer, but. Yeah, it's combat and doing stuff in the world, same stamina. First TTRPG systems you have played early into the hobby. My friend sort of taught me 5e, and I never got super into it just because of logistics with meeting up with friends. But one I really liked was Dread, where it's a horror game where you use a Jenga tower. And the idea is it's like, you're going to die eventually. So like whenever you do something, it's like, all right, take a piece of the Jenga tower. And like at the start, obviously it's easy, but eventually the tower gets more precarious. So the further you get into this horror journey, the more likely it is you're going to die. And once the tower falls, you die. And the idea is, a bunch of the players will die during the campaign, so it's good for like 80 slasher sort of stuff. That was a fun one. So those were probably the two I really cut my teeth on. How would you feel about someone creating a digital 3D version of the pop-up van? I'd be very derivative of my 3D version of the pop-up fan. Because I have like all the flat files because I drew it. I pulled it into Blender and made a 3D file of it, rotating around. But yeah, go for it. Hey, is this game set up to have other vehicle party bosses other than the damn van? I don't know if I want to drive that damn van every campaign. Like, where's the damn gift shop? You start the game at the gift shop. Don't worry about that. There is a damn gift shop, which is kind of like the launching point. Um, so you can change it up. Obviously, if you're buying the pop up van, then like that's the van. But if you're just doing like the full pen and paper and you want to change it up, absolutely. It still would need to be a vehicle though. I'm glad you put this up. I might put this as a footnote in the actual story stuff. But there, for the actual campaign, it does need to be a vehicle with tires for some story beats. But if you're doing homebrew, yeah, change the vehicle to whatever. I was originally thinking of doing a raft instead of a van, and you go down the rivers in the raft. But logistically, it made the story kind of on rails in a way I didn't like. But a floating raft that you build up, that would be so sick. Oh, I think, yeah, so many nice messages. Thank you so much, everyone. And I haven't even been looking at the total. We're over 800 now. So many people want Splowware Island into a game. I'm dropping another Kickstarter tomorrow for it. Sorry I'm so slow with these. I'm like reading responses to things I said a couple, like 10, 15 minutes ago. Am I a Magic the Gathering fan? I like it, but I got priced out of it a long time ago. It's just... I have way better things to do with money, but I love doing a draft with friends every now and then. Buying a couple of boosters and doing that, but... Yeah, I don't collect them. I don't know. I like paying rent. Could you find old maps from other survivors that aren't anymore that you can copy? That's a funny way around censorship. Like if you were doing homebrew, absolutely. In my campaign though, it's more some people might put markings on your map. They'll let you know little stashes and stuff, send you in the right direction. Have you ever thought about doing a manga around Salinthal? I would eat that stuff up. I am so cautious when I'm hitting mangaka hours. My idols, so many idols have worked themselves to death. So I would love to do a manga. I am not picking up manga drawing hours. But if someone else did it and I wrote it, that would be very, man. That would be such a sketchy, fibrous sort of book. Oh, that would be so good. Hope maxed, Optimus pilled. How much are we allowed to know on what caused the end of the world? You'll learn stuff in the game. there's a reason there's a conspiracy character class. It's conspiracy theorist class. It's lots of people have their own ideas of what happened. So you'll definitely like run into someone who is adamant, absolutely adamant that there are zombies out there. Uh, will there be a third party license? Um, I'd like to. I'd like to. I remember looking into it and being like, "That's cool," and just haven't really had the time to like look into it further. So, uh, I would like to. So, uh, yeah, I gotta learn more about that stuff. But yeah, I'd love people to be able to like just take it and run what they can with it. Can you forage for food in the game? I like foraging IRL, and it would be cool. Yep. If you've got a good nature skill, you'll be better at it. But you can absolutely forage in the game. And if you're running low on food, it's a good skill to have. Will you be making some sort of table or maybe even a blurb in the book on how to balance encounters with different sizes or play groups, like a two-player team or 9 players somehow? Yeah, absolutely. There'll be ways to tweak it and stuff. Um, One of the smaller like balance things that I've done is when you cook your meal at the end of the day, you all eat together. So logistically, it's a little silly, but um, if you have 2 players, they're going to eat the same meal as if you had, 6 or 7 players. But yeah, there's definitely ways to like even it out, and the GM will have a few little techniques to increase difficulty and lower difficulty, control the ebb and flow of everything that's going on. Will there be more things you add to this after the Kickstarter has closed? Nothing planned, but like definitely there could be one shots. There could be a lot of like supplements that I can just sort of throw out into the world. So, uh, just focusing on delivering this Kickstarter first, though. Thanks, Blunt Brothers. Oh, so you want to make a 3D van app for players, especially those that don't have the pop up? Yeah, as long as you're not charging for it, yeah, absolutely. If you're unsure, just shoot me an email. I'll chat to you. What What was your favorite horror experience? When were you most pleasantly, where possible? I'm not against swearing. I just don't know if YouTube will yell at me. Um, your pants and quivering in your boots. I don't even know if it was scary, but I early VR. I played some horror game and I walked into a room and there was nothing there. But then when I turned around, the door was gone. I was like, all right. And then I turned around again and there was like blood on the wall that said "turn around one more time." And I remember being like annoyed and scared at the same time. Like, come on, like this is why are you foreshadowing this so bad? I don't know if that's the scariest. I don't know. I can't even really think of what spooked me a lot. Uh, the Outer Wilds DLC, that was a bit scary, I guess. What's the end goal for the game? Like, where are we going? So, oh, let me restart my music. I like that little beat at the start. So the idea is, yeah, you live on a river, a freshwater river. It's the apocalypse, so that freshwater river is your lifeblood, and it dries up. So you head upstream to see what's going on, and you enter the realm of damnation. And you find a big dam has been jammed up, and the river isn't running. And you got to find out what's going on. And like the way the story unravels is the the meat of it. So the story's going in the sense of finding out what happened and also deciding where the water flows. And there's little bits and pieces you'll find out along the way. And so you're chasing water is basically the goal of the game. Does the GM need to know the whole story before starting, or they can be kind of surprised too? It is built in a way where it is kind of like friendly to the GM to like play along. So like, yeah, I feel you don't need to read ahead that much. But like when you get to a major city, there'll be like 3 or 4 pages. So that might be a bit, it's going to goof the pace up a bit to be like, hang on a second, let me just see what's going on here. But while exploring the map, I feel you can be just sort of reading the encounters as you reach them and explaining it to the players. So there's room for it, but you'll always be a better GM if you know what's going on beforehand. Are there zombies? I haven't seen any. Will the digital contents be released before physical items and be shipped, or are they trying to sync together? Sync together. So they should be released at the same time. Digital will definitely like hit before like the Postman does, but at the same time. Are any shorts in the same universe without saying? Not really. Papatito is in the Himbo Knights world, but I think that's like the only like sort of major one where they haven't like run into each other. But for the most part, no. But I don't know. Himbo Knights could run into a big house. Like that would make sense. I feel so. Yeah. Don't go looking for secret connections though. There's no. I'll never do a reveal. A big, shocking reveal. Is the physical version going to be available one day down the line? It would be nice, but I just have to see how things play out. It's manufacturing stuff at the moment in the world it's rough. So it would be nice, is all I can really say. But we'll see. Would it be alright to make 3D prints of your settings to put together to build a world, not as a private thing, but as something cool to make and maybe post about? Yes, 100% yes. Like, if you're making stuff for yourself, you can rip off anything I've made. It's only an issue if you're like trying to pass it as my own or you're making a profit off my stuff. But if you're making stuff at home, you can do whatever you want with my stuff. I don't care. Like, more power to you. Oh, thanks for everyone who's saying they've ordered. We're in the last half hour now. Almost 810k. Insanity. Hey, look, I thought you were an Aussie. I am. I'm also a Canadian citizen. I kind of move around a bit. I'm not really locked in anywhere. But yeah, I'm an Australian and I live in Toronto, at least at the moment. Ooh, I've reached the end. Oh, what's the music you've been playing for the stream? It is just YouTube's audio library. And I went through and just found... I think I just actually searched lo-fi and just like highlighted a bunch and I just play that on loop. It's super generic, but I know YouTube won't at least get mad at me because it's their royalty-free library. I know there's some like artists who have made royalty-free albums for people to use that are much better than this. But then like people remix them sometimes and then claim copyright over it. It's such a tricky and ugly ecosystem. But this is just the YouTube audio library. It's pretty good. Conspiracy theory guys getting a little bit shafted with space, but it is what it is. Scale's a bit wonky, but we're running low on time. Do the little archivist. Good night, Firefly. Thanks for staying up. Have I thought about the rules of Lane It? A little bit. But a lot of people have already made, not like before I did Lane It, there's people who've made amalgamations of the different card games. And there's some pretty cool ones out there. So like I intentionally left it kind of vague because I feel like people would argue about how these rules mesh together. And yeah, you get like the dog dude who won't let you... dogs are immortal as far as he's concerned. So I don't have a specific set of rules, but if you're interested, there is a lot out there that people have done. How's it going? It is going really good. Question: have you considered doing a live play for your TTRPG on your channel at some point? Yeah, absolutely. Once it's in a little bit better build, I think that'll be the way to do it. Once I can like present it properly and definitely not like have to like once things are a lot more set in stone, because I'd hate to tease something and then people don't get it. But yeah. Is this your job, making animations, or do you work for someone and do this on the side? This is all I do now, and thanks to this Kickstarter, hopefully this is all I ever do. Yeah, I live off Patreon and YouTube, and it's not a lot of money, but it's covered my rent for the last couple of years, though I have burnt through all my savings. So this is all I do. I used to do little cheeky commissions every now and then on the side. Cheeky as in for a company, not porn. But yeah, I think I might be able to thread the needle and just do nothing but create the stuff I want to create now on. So the dream, I am blessed beyond. Do the ranged weapons work like how they do in D&D? No, they're a bit different just because the combat in itself is a bit different. I think most of the ranged weapons use observation as your role against the opponent's observation, so it's less overpowering like the physical and more about like finding your opening. But yeah, they work a certain amount of squares, and yeah. Do you have any guesses on the shipping costs to Canada? Not exactly. A lot of that's sort of been worked out, but there'll be more information on that soon. Do you have any advice on making friends IRL? I like if you want someone to like you, just ask them a lot of questions. That's the secret. People have stuff to say. And if they don't really want to answer your questions, then it is what it is. But yeah. Ask people about themselves. That's the easiest way to make friends. Confused on what will happen on release. Will there be a physical version to buy or only the digital? Well, it's the Kickstarter, so it's focused on that primarily. So if you back it now, you will get whatever you back, and on release we send it out to whoever backed. And there might be some online store stuff after the fact, but no guarantees what will actually be in that. So the Kickstarter is the guarantee. How does stealth work in this game? A lot of it happens. There's no real stealth in combat. Stealth happens outside. And like the different scenarios played out differently. So like sometimes it's an observation. Like, do you see them before they see you? And then like when it comes to actually like sneaking around, it varies on the scenario, but there is different stealth mechanics in play. Have I heard of Glitch Productions and or Bluey, and have I heard about Where the Kids? Yes, I know Glitch. Not personally, but like yeah, they've been dropping all those nice animated YouTube shows. They have the plushies to go with the pilot, and they're creating a lot of cool stories that you wouldn't see in mainstream media. So yeah, I know Glitch. They're cool. Bluey. Yeah, I know a guy who works on Bluey too. And it's set in Queensland, where I was born and raised. So all the houses and stuff in Bluey just look like the suburbs I grew up in rural Queensland. And I do know Where the Kids. Where the Kids was an inspiration for me in the sense of like, oh, like he's doing his own vibe. He's being funny and telling jokes. And like just like to the beat of his own drum. So I was like, oh, I don't want to do Where the Kids stuff, but I can find my own way through it. And yeah, so Where the Kids cool. Oh, I just got a little DM. So you will be able to add to the pledge after the fact with the Kickstarter, but the best prices are now. So if there's anything you want, like it is recommended to get it now. So like the pledge manager is a great way for people to catch up if they haven't got it, but the Kickstarter is the better option for sure. Is there a beaver character? Because damn. I'm canceling the Kickstarter. I forgot to put a beaver in. I'll put one in the story, but I really dropped the ball. Thank you, Gary. Will there be an option to add more merchant goodies to our order before things are sent out? Yep, but like I was just saying, yeah, it's better to do it now. It's more it's guaranteed, and it'll be the best price now. Congrats on the project. This is the first TTR RPG I've bought to try out. I can't wait. Thank you so much. Unrelated note, it's Clip Studio preferred for drawing / animations or Adobe. Adobe sucks. If you can avoid Adobe, get out of it. If you have a job where you need Adobe, then you gotta keep doing it. But I like Clip Studio, but I kind of animate more traditionally, where I just export PNGs, even though there is like an animation system built into Clip Studio. I've actually just never actually played with it, but Clip Studio is great because I love illustrative lines. I don't like vectors. I mean, vectors have their place, but I like working with a gritty dash line. So for that, Clip Studio is really, really good. The guarantee, the sister product of anxiety. I like that. Thank you, everyone. What setup do I use for drawing? I've got the old Cintiq, the big screen. I paid like $1,800 for this like 7 years ago, and it's still going strong. But yeah, I got the big 19-inch Cintiq screen, and I draw in Clip Studio, and that's basically it. How much time have you put into making the RPG? There's a little bits of it that I was developing long before I even talked to these guys who helped me make it. So I have been developing it for a long time, but like how much hours I put in, I'm not sure. Like it's only until like I've like committed to this Kickstarter that I really like started locking down all the mechanics and stuff. So definitely been about a year, but also on and off. Like obviously, I've been making animations as my primary sort of thing. Um, so, in my thoughts for 5 or 6 years, locking it down for the last year. What's playing in the background of Kid Blades? I asked because I want to listen to it for myself. I got these sound libraries, so it was just like a looping beat track I had. I was definitely thinking of Jet Set Radio Future when I was working on that one, so I was just trying to find something with a little bit of hip hop and a little bit of funk. But I don't actually remember what soundtrack I grabbed. Question: have you considered doing an expansion for the game based on your Himbo Note series, or maybe even a second game with more dungeon crawly aspects? Yes, absolutely. Like, the system I've created is for it's for adventure, it's for exploring. As I draw the explorer. So yeah, I've definitely thought of Himbo Nights. I've thought of Intersea Zones. My mind does wander into so many places it could go. But I'm not too concerned about any of that until this is all done. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, but yeah, there's so many avenues the whole camp and quest system can go down. What is my opinion about Eurovision and that it would take place in Asia? I like Eurovision, but I actually haven't watched it in a long, long time. So, no opinion. Have you talked much about how the commissions for the Ultimate Fanbox tier will go? Like what limits or a time scale? Yeah, so like there will be a little survey. Like I'll really try and waterproof it as much as I can before getting everyone to submit what they want. But yeah, limit like it is limited to a character, and we're talking about doing 2 characters, which is very doable. Um, but once that's locked in, there'll be a nice buffer where it's like, all right, time to fill out the survey, and like the time from it open to close should be very generous, if that's what you mean. Have I had any close calls with the murder geese in Canada? Absolutely not. They're just cool guys. There's a park near me, and they'll be having like babies soon, and I just go sit on the grass and work on stuff, and they'll just come hang out. They like, I'm thinking it's like city geese, and they're just less concerned with people, but they're chill dudes. If you got a problem, if geese have a problem with you, I think that's more on you than the geese. Hate to say it. Since I mentioned Jet Set Radio, have I listened to Star Junk 95? No, but I know I say I put stuff on the list, but this is going on the top of the list because I constantly go back to the soundtrack when I'm working. It is like my little safe space, the old Jet Set Radio. Extra sugar, extra salt, extra oil, MSG. This makes me want to get a minivan to go IRL, to go on adventures with friends. I also feel crazy. Both valid. And I agree with, I feel similar for both those statements. To get in a van and just leave it all behind. That'd be something. Alright, we're up to Feral. Feral's up in the tree. 5555 backers. Toronto. I live in Toronto. Am I okay with being stannable? Don't stan me. You, I before I had more of a following on YouTube, I used to be snarkier with people, like on Twitter and stuff. But now, if I'm snarky with someone, a brigade of a couple of people come in to like back me up, and I don't like that. So, so yeah, never defend me, never stand for me. I'm don't perceive me, just like my animations and art. You don't need to worry about me. I'm indestructible. Ever been swooped by magpies? Yeah, absolutely. But magpies are, I don't know. If you feed them, they become pretty chill guys. Do you think you'll build more of the game in the future? And what's your go-to Tim Hortons order? Yeah, I'd love to build more of the game. But again, like, yeah, not too concerned with that right now. Gotta make the game good first. And Tim Hortons sucks. I don't like the Tim Hortons coffee. But I live downtown, so there's so many nice coffee shops. I was going to ask about the commission as well, but I didn't know how to approach it. I've got 2 kids, and if there's any way to have them done instead of myself, it would be amazing. Absolutely, 100%. I wasn't really thinking about doing 2 people, but since you guys have brought it up, that is so doable. I'm going to make sure I include that. Yeah, both kids will be, yeah. She's good. I got you. How many item slots do you get in the game? It might change with the replay testing, but at the moment it's 2. But you get to haul everything in your van. So the 2 items that you carry are kind of combat related. So it's more of like when you're caught off guard, that's just kind of what you got in your pockets. But if you want to go pull the duct tape out of the van and you're just hanging out trying to solve a problem, then you just go get the duct tape. And clothing doesn't take up an item slot, so if you want to wear the wedding dress, it's not gonna ruin your min max build. Was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World an influence on your work? I love it, but I wouldn't call it an influence. It's I grew up very rural, so it's like, I don't know. It's a culture that I watched but didn't participate in. But yeah, when I first moved to Toronto, I went and checked out places. R.I.P. Sneaky. Honest Ed's. Sneaky D's is still here. Yeah. How's the Void treating you anyhow? Haven't been for a while. I'm too busy. Excited to return to Void. Any advice with expanding basic ideas into fully fleshed out worlds? Just zoom in. Just zoom in. Like, I don't know. You don't need to explain the world. Just zoom in and tell the story, and just imply things. You know, if there's magic cops arresting people who are illegally using magic, like, you don't have to explain how that came to be in the narrative for it. Just zoom in. Just tell us a story about them, whatever it may be. Any conventions I go into in Toronto? TCAF. I love TCAF. I go every year. The Toronto Comic and Arts Festival. Sometimes I even table there. That's the thing. Every now and then I go to a fan expo or a Comic-Con. But I'm usually just walking around, chatting to friends. I got a lot of friends who do tabling and stuff, which is always fun. Love magpies, smart birds, 11 out of 10 parents. Yeah. will we see the story of any other guards, like the Left Eye Guard? Um, yeah, absolutely. Pinky's the main man, but yeah, there's more to come. There's more to come. Ooh, less than 10 minutes left. I'll stay for a bit until this is done, but yeah. So do you have a merch store of any kind? I'd love to buy some of your art prints and stickers and such once I have money again. There'll be something eventually. I like obviously like the Kickstarter is the priority, so I don't want to start rock up tomorrow and be like selling stuff. But yeah, there's a possibility. Maybe even with the guys I'm working with now. But yeah, there'll be something eventually, but probably not anytime soon, unfortunately. Have I heard about Todd Maffin? Nope. Sorry, I have not. Have you ever played Shadow of the Colossus? A lot of your shorts give me those vibes. Yeah, I played it when it came out. Definitely resonated with me. Probably activated something when it comes to doing big guys on the horizon. I love a big guy. I love a kaiju. Love a King Bigfoot. Yeah, good game. How approachable was the game for as a first experience as a GM? I want to give it a shot, and we'll have the give this game as a first. Very good. I hope it is it's designed to be simple, and I feel first time GMs, it's going to be the game to really cut your teeth on. Like I was saying, some of the mechanics are sort of like introduced as you play. You don't need to teach your players about cooking at the start. They'll learn that as they play. So, I feel new GMs, this will be a good thing for it. Rusty shotgun and bathrobe. That's the meta. Hey, it's my dad as Dracula. My good friend. Christian, have you heard of the board game Root? Yes. I played Root and I played Oath. And beautiful artwork. Yeah, I love them. They're great. They're I always think of that, like if I ever make a board game, I just want to make sure the art shines as well as it does in Root. It is wonderful. Congrats on hitting 1 million Canadian. Thank you. I met you at TCAF. I bought a Pinky Union Strong sticker from him. You mentioned offhand that you were starting to work on this system, so it's real neat to see the progress. Oh, cool! It was definitely. It would have been nice seeing you, even though obviously I can't remember which person you were. But yeah, no, it's for so long the system's just been like under the surface, and I couldn't really talk about it. So I'm excited. I was excited to make all those little dev videos about it, which is really cool. Do you think more people are open to others or more closed off after society collapsed? Like, you got to worry about raiders, but I also think since people would be less, since people would be less common, people would seek out. Yeah, I think so too. I think that, you know, I'm a pretty introverted person, but when I don't talk to anyone for a couple of days, I get super yappy. Yeah, I guess like also with the when society collapse world, it is a little bit. It's quieter. And that does you know, that does come through. So I feel like, you know, if you're wandering the world and you come across someone, you're more likely to chat to them than bash their head in for their hat. But maybe their hat's really good. Who knows? Oh, thank you guys. Such nice messages coming in the last minute. We got like 4 minutes left. You're all really kind. I do want to try to wrap this up a little bit. We're going to be doing some very stylized color choices to make this happen. Last second pledge, thank you so much. Hey, if you got a hat that's good enough to for someone to attack you to take it, then it's worth fighting for, I suppose. Last 2 minutes. Weird bumps. You bought the game? You just found out about it just then? Oh, that's so cool. If you can't support financially, do not stress. It's all good. This has worked out really well. Oh man, they even got the seconds timer going. You gotta like really see how much how delayed I am, I guess now, because I'm counting down. Last 60 seconds. Drawing some toes. Appropriate. This DVD guy had a Monster Energy shirt. Hoodie. And I can't put that in the game. Oh. Gonna get the glasses, pig. All right, just rounding down. Woo! Confetti. Wow. Oh my! The website moved. Man, I was gonna jump into a spiel about how good this is, but I am genuinely actually lost for words. This is, yeah, I guess it's real, and you know, none of this would have happened without everyone's support. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be here for a few more minutes finishing this off, but yeah, it's I hope you guys like it. I hope it's good. I hope I've caught the energy in it. You know, I've been doing these shorts for a while, so I've been real thirsty to tell a bigger story, and that's what we're doing. Put a big old thank you up on the screen. Oh, what a wonderful day. Oh yeah, those guys are still going. It's my birthday. Everyone will get in there. Alan Grant. Dot Matrix. Alright, let's just quickly get some colors on these boys. And we're going to do the secret source of the gradients. Will there be more streams in the future? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll drop an update too with the Kickstarter tomorrow. Let everything know that's like going to be coming up with it. Yeah, and there'll be more streams in the future too. It's all good. I get a long weekend this weekend. I'm taking 3 days off. I'm doing something. I don't know what. All right, gradient time. Oops. Pink to a deep blue. That always goes well. We'll just lighten that up. Maybe bring you into the purples. Bring it down a bit. What a beautiful nocturnal sky. Thank you, Jimmy Ray. That's really nice. Jacob, you quit your job today? Free man? Oh, it's always the best feeling. It's always the best feeling, quitting a job. It can be stressful when you don't know how the rent's getting paid, but what a feeling. I feel like I overuse these skyscrapers a bit in the background, but it's just I love a dilapidated skyscraper. What percentage of this game is already done? Most of the art's done. The writing is most, like the writing, or the book and stuff is mostly done as well. It is a little choppy, needs to be edited up. Need to make sure some things work, but I wouldn't have launched the Kickstarter without it being able to like us see what the ending looks like. All right, we're just gonna do some blues. I want a bigger variation. We'll zoom out so it's easy to see. And then for the next one, I just kind of drag the color palette to a different side. And we'll do yellow because it's a nice complementary color that we're not really touching. And that'll pop that up. What do I like to do in my free time? Read. I like hiking. Usual boring stuff. More interesting. One of the weirder things I do is I love to every couple of months jump on VR chat, and I don't interact with people. That place is kind of gross, so I can't ever actually recommend it. But I love going on just exploring worlds. That's my favorite downtime hobby. Go to VR chat and just explore worlds. I visit a lot of penthouses that are just people's dreams, and it's kind of nice. And I think I just want to add a slither of white to pop this up. Does the Pinky Guard get a physical release with the deluxe box set? No, unfortunately. I wanted to. Like, I had to make a lot of choices that were just keeping the whole thing affordable. Because it is an expense. Like, I would have loved to have, like, done 3D minis for everyone as well. But, like, I don't want to be charging $800 for the deluxe. So, unfortunately, no physical Pinky Guard. At the moment. Is it over? Yes, it just finished. We just hit the end. In Matt's Magic Media, you spell complicated as complicated. Look, if you go through my stuff, I have so many typos. I'm very apathetic to spelling correctly. I do my best to do it now because it breaks people's immersion. They'll be watching it and they'll be like, hang on, spelling mistake. Ruined. So, I'm sorry when you find them. I'm doing better. And I'm doing them for the audience. It is my most, it's probably the most thing I've given into when it comes to, like, creativity. It's make it accessible for everyone by spelling my words right. Sorry, D-Holster. There'll be some options and stuff up. Just follow my socials or follow the page. Is it okay if I draw one myself to play with my friends? Yeah, of course. You don't even need to ask that. You are so very welcome to do that. Oh, DVD guy doesn't get shaved legs. Yeah, carry them up. And just throw a bit of grass around. Just sort of arc it out. But yeah, thank you everyone. I'm going to keep saying that for a month, I think, but thank you. Cool. Kind of quick, but it sums up my feelings. I think this is a nice piece. What was that? Go. The typos add a little, I don't know what. You know, like we see so much media these days that are just like refined through like control group, like test groups, and it always just becomes this like very acceptable wide thing. So when you see a typo and a mistake, it makes it, it gives it a little tooth to it, and I like it, but I will do better. Could Pinky Card be a zine of some sort to keep it small but physical? Understandable though, and appreciate you think about cost for everyone. Possibly, possibly. I'll look into it as a booklet, but we'll have to see. I got a list of things now to see what we can do with, but yeah. I hope you stop overworking yourself and have a more reasonable work pace. Yeah, I'm good. I've got an ebb and flow. I work hard, but I also have a lot of days where I'm in the void. So, I got the flow. Cool. All right, I'm gonna end it here, guys. Thank you a million times. What a lucky boy I am to be doing this, and it's all thanks to you. So you'll be hearing more from me soon. Like I said, we'll send out like an update probably tomorrow, and there'll be more information about how this Kickstarter will come together. And thank you, and have a good evening or something. Bye.